21 Taylor Street. It's also a component replacement, only a septic tank. The $75 is paid. I've done the review. It's okay. Recommend we approve it.
Agree.
Okay. The next one is 107 Carver Street. It is a D-box only replacement, $75 paid. I did the review. It's okay. And I recommend we approve it.
Just one quick question. Why are all these D boxes failing?
They look like they're concrete problems that when you do the Title V, it shows up as D-box failing. Bob, do you have a feeling it's a defect kind of thing?
I don't know if it's necessarily a defect, Dick, or if it's was it the hydrogen sulfide gases eat the concrete? It's quite common, as you know. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
And it's a lot of it. It's an environment that's a gaseous environment as compared with the wet environment.
So why don't the septic tanks get eaten by the same stuff?
They do. However, the septic tanks are much thicker concrete. A D box is only approximately 2 inches thick.
Got it. Okay.
So I recommend that we approve that one.
Agree.
Okay, next one, 59 Center Street. It's also a leach field replacement for a failed leach field. Bobby was requesting a variance to Granby's 100 feet well to septic or a pump chamber. It's 90 feet instead of 100, but it's a reused system. And we've already gone through and granted that on the last repair. Bobby isn't putting a new one in. So it doesn't really need a variance because he's not touching that. And it would need approval, but subject to fill. And also it needs a 5 foot to 4 foot water table variance. And Neil Jackson was the Board of Health representative. I've done the review. We've gone through it. It's okay. And I recommend that we approve it and that we grant the variance.
I agree. I reviewed it as well.
Okay. So Bob, that's it. We're done with you.
Okay, I got cut off there for a minute, Dick. Did you do the 16 Deerbrook Drive?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did 69 Taylor Street, 71 Taylor Street, 107 Carver, and 16 Deerbrook, and 59 Center.
We did.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Deerbrook, the 16 Deerbrook was the one you asked the question about why the D-box failed.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good evening, folks. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now we've got, I can do some of Alan's before Alan gets here. We can get a jump on it. And then when Alan comes in, we can deal with Mr. Dynek.
Okay.
Okay, 6 Taylor Street is a septic tank and D-box replacement. That one, I talked to Gene, that's a $75 fee as a component replacement, but it should be $75 for each component, and Gene's going to get the other $75. I did the review. It's fine, and I recommend we approve it.
I agree.
Okay, next one, 113 South Street. It's a complete system replacement. I did the review. We've did some modifications. It needs approval subject to fill. It's also a 5 to 4 foot water table variance with Charlie Kanicki as the Board of Health rep. I recommend that we do both of those, grant the approval and the variance.
Agree.
Next one is 4 Lakeview Drive. That is a complete system replacement. He got it in late, but that one is caving in, so it's a danger. So I moved it. It's been paid, and for the safety problem, I thought it was better not to make him wait the week. It's deep, dry sands with no water table problem and public water, and I recommend that we approve it.
Okay, this one I didn't have to review then.
You do not have that to review.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one is Lot 3, Easton Street. That is a Leo Fugler property. It's a new system. Basically, it's out in the woods in a cleared area. $200 has been paid. I reviewed it. The only difference that we don't have in our hand is that Alan, there is no water table on this, and Alan has it up. I told him I thought too close to the surface for what I liked. It was up near the A horizon, the topsoil. So Alan will have by tomorrow, the system just dropped, the leach field dropped 12 inches, and all it needs is a approval. There's no restrictions on it, and I recommend we approve it, and just Gene will hold it until Alan brings the 12-inch drop modification in.
I don't think I had this one to review either, Dick.
Really? Because I had that one.
Nope, I don't have it.
Yeah,
But you think it's okay?
it is okay for sure.
All right. Then,
Okay, so that's done. You know, as long as we're working, I can jump if we want, and or go. Do you want me to do Neil Jackson's too?
Sure.
Okay, Neil Jackson's got 2 of them.
Yep.
The first one is Lot 1B, Burnett Street. Herb, as you walk, it's the lot it's like the 3rd lot in that's cleared. It's a new system.
I've been-
Go ahead.
I've been watching it expectantly.
Okay, $200 has been paid. I've done the reviews and done the modification. It's a pump system, so it would need an approval subject to fill and the electrical associated with the pump, and I recommend we approve it.
Okay, I agree. And Neil's not on right now, is he?
No, but he will be.
Because it looks like the house is all the way at the very rear of this property. Is that the way you're looking at it too?
Oh, I didn't think so. But it is lower than the system, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have that in my pile someplace, Herb.
No, you're right. It's not all the way at the rear of the property. It is not.
Okay.
That's my misreading.
The next one though is Lot 11B, Phillips Circle.
Yeah.
It's a new system. $200 has been paid. I've done the review. I've talked to Neil about the well location. The well location is correct, but it's very, very close to the legal minimums for the tank and the leach field, and it's out from. It's got 2 pins in the front, and the mentors are like 872 feet from one of the pins. And I suggested to Neil that it's really crazy to put that well so close to the septic system, and he's only got a couple feet to make it so it's on top of the septic system. So he has made a note on the drawing that he's the one that's got to set the well, and he's going to move it backwards. So,
Okay. Yeah,
that one would be, uh, needed approval subject to fill. There's a water table issue there. And I recommend we approve it.
yeah, because there's almost a couple hundred yards here.
Oh, it
Okay.
is. It is. That's the one that definitely is.
Yep. Okay.
So that's it for Neil's done. With Bob Stover is going to be the next one. That one is a lot one on, yeah, Bob Stover, that's lot one on Amher Street. It's a new system right next to the road. $200 has been paid. I've gone through a lot of review on that. It just needs an approval, although the engineer is going to go to the former owner and get the perk data for the other the lot that's right next to it, the lot that's to the east of it, and just make sure, since the well location is kind of arbitrary, he's going to move the well based on the location of the well, and its proposal is legal for the lot, but he's going to look at the other lot and make sure he doesn't interfere with the septic system for the other lot. So he'll be sending that in this week too. So I recommend that we approve it.
Okay. And what's this address again?
This is lot 1, Amher Street.
Okay, I'm just trying to keep my drawings straight here.
Okay, that's kind of a thick packet.
Yeah.
The final one that we have is for Rose. That's 101 East Street. That is a complete repair replacement. $150 has been paid. I've done the review. In fact, we've done a lot of review on that one. There is a wetland in the back of that, and the nearest point to the wetland to the leaching facility is 160 feet away. The tank and pump, there's a pump system. It's in the back of the house. The well is in the front of the house, uphill from the tank and the pump. And the engineer moved the proposed septic tank and pump chamber further away. He got 76 feet, but he couldn't go further than that without hitting the leach facility or being right in the hole of the old tank. So he moved it as far as he could. It's not a violation of state code. It was only our policy that says 100 feet, but since it's downhill and as far as he could go away, I'm saying that we should let that be. That's the best we can do here. And it would need approval subject to fill and electrical because of the pump. And it needs a 4-foot to 3-foot water table variance. And Charlie Kanicki was the Board of Health's representative, and I suggest that we approve that.
Okay. It seemed to me when I was looking at it that there was more room for the leach field, but you think it's okay?
Yeah, I do. He's got it pushed. I'd have to look at it again. That we actually went back and forth many times on this one, and this ended up where I think it's the best that he can do with that situation, Herb.
Okay.
Okay, so those are all done. When Alan gets on,
I'm on now.
Alan, we're all set with you except for let's see, except for Mr. Dynack. So you've got approved 6 Taylor Street, 113 South Street, 4 Lakeview Avenue and Lot 3 Easton Street. Now, Easton Street, we're holding until you submit the drawings for the 12-inch drop on the leach field. And just so you know, the 113 South Street is subject to fill regulations. And I guess that's the only one we did. Now you're here with Mr. Dynick. And what we have with Mr. Dynick is an out-of-season perk that was, the system is paid for, the design was approved, but subject to the spring water table determination. You've stated that it can be, if the water table's up, you can get in the spring, you can get the system in, is on your drawing. Your drawing requires the water table. Mr. Dynick submitted our document saying he's aware that he would be responsible for any cost or any complications associated with having to lift the system up if the water table is higher than we observed in the out of season. And you're really here for all of us to be mano to mano, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Saying you understand that this is a big deal if you go forward with it.
Yes, sir. I understand.
When we're giving this approval, you are getting an approval that lets the building inspector allow you to build this whole house and do everything except putting in the septic system, which can't get done until the March or April water table determination. And you can't get a certificate of occupancy until the septic system is in. So we just want, even though you've signed that, we want you to know that it's a big deal. And we want your engineer to be here that knows, so he knows that you know that he could be letting you embark on a road that could be expensive if he gets drunk.
I understand the risk involved.
So, Herb?
And you've signed off on that? Is that correct, Dick?
Yes, we have the document.
All right. If it's if the prospective homeowner understands it and has signed off accepting the responsibility, then I'm with you.
Okay.
Excellent.
So Chris and Alan, we're done with you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Now we have, is Neil here yet? Okay, we'll keep going. I have, Herb, I've got Gene's pay in front of me for 48 hours. It looks like there's a 1.5 hour sick pay in there. And are you okay with that?
I am.
I am too. I've also got a receipt, a submittal. It looks like $1,360 for plumbing and Board of Health permits, and another $200 for Board of Health fees for $1,560. Are you okay with that, Herb?
Yes, I reviewed that and I'm okay with it.
I am too. So, Gene, are you staying with us here?
I am.
Okay, we're trying to keep it moving.
I see that.
The next one,
I just got into this thing, Dick. Sorry to interrupt you.
okay. We are, if you're ready to do it, we've got, it's actually your part. You've got certificate of compliance for lot 10, Trout Lily Lane, certificate of compliance for 7 Cold Hill, well permit lot 3 Easton Street, well permit for 116 Aldrich Street. A couple of temporary permits, I guess those are gonna be Herb's. So are you ready with your stuff, Lee?
Yes, Aldrich Street is a headache. I spoke to Joe Dilk today. Even though Gene sent me out a print of the SAS, he was on site several times and can't make heads nor tails of what we have on paper. He's ready to walk on the project and have someone else put the well in because he can't, in good conscience, drill where they told him it's okay to do without getting an engineer involved.
Okay, so that is not okay.
No, not to go with that location on Aldrich Street.
Okay, so Gene, that is not approved.
Okay.
Well permit for lot 3 Easton Street.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Certificate of compliance for 7 Cold Hill.
I don't know what that is referring to.
Okay. Lee, let me just, I think you already signed it back on September 19th. So I just wanted the board to approve it so I can put their names to it.
So you've already,
Okay.
so it's already been signed. So if that's the case, then it must be okay. And Herb, are you okay with that?
I guess so.
I guess, me too.
Okay.
How about certificates of compliance lot 10 Trout Lily Lane?
Yeah, that's a brand new house construction by Natick. That's good to go.
Are you okay, Herb?
Yes.
I am too. Okay, next one is 2020 temporary food permit for Immaculate Heart of Mary Chicken Barbecue Drive Up. Are we okay with that, Herb? I guess this is, go ahead.
Gene, did we talk about this one and the chicken pie supper
Yes.
together?
Yes, we did. They had asked if they could do it. I mean, it was just, I can't remember what meeting it was at. Because it's going to be drive up only. They'll
Yes.
drive up and pick up their meal.
Right.
So I did the permit up. I made them submit the application. So it's just the approval for the permit.
I think we discussed both of these, right? It was the standard way of doing it. It's a,
I think so.
yeah. So Lee, are you okay with these two also?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we're set with those. We also have minutes. I don't remember, Gene, did I do a review of the 27th? What, have we done all of these or not?
No, I just have the 7th, the 10th, and the 11th. Those are the ones that you reviewed and I received changes to.
So we have not done the 14th and the 27th?
No, I did send them out to you, but I never heard back, so I don't know if you got them. I can resend them for the next meeting.
If you would do that, would you please? And
Sure.
so are
So we
we
have the
okay?
7th, the 10th, and the 11th.
Are we okay with that, Herb and Lee?
I think I reviewed a number of these, didn't I, Gene? I'm
You did.
sure.
Yeah, I don't believe you did the 14th, but I'll double check for the next meeting.
I've
Okay.
got a feeling we both did the 14th, Herb, but it doesn't matter. We can do it again.
I'll go back and check.
Okay. But are we good with the 7th, 10th, and the 11th?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe
Lee?
we are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Then we have the 6 Taylor Street, 17 Easton Street, and 208 Bachelor Street in Title V inspection reports.
Yeah, so
that
Taylor
we're going
Street,
to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no worries. Taylor Street, is okay, except for it needs a new tank and new distribution box.
And we just approved that permit today.
Okay.
So that one we can receive.
Yes.
How about 17 Easton?
Yep, those are new components. I was there last week with Greg Everson. All good.
Okay. And so we can receive it. How
Yes.
about 208 Bachelor Street?
208 Bachelor. Is that Tom, some home improvement company? That's an abandoned house. It's an art cement tank. It's of no value. What I mean is the system, there's no way to test it. The house has been empty for a long period of time, and the components in the ground are all junk. I'm supposed to be there September 30 for a repair perk at that location, but right now there's nothing to pass because there's nothing in the ground that's measurable.
So does it come in as a fail?
It did.
Yeah, the art cement tank, of course, is leaked
Yes.
out.
Yep.
It's got about 18 feet of clay bleach line, 2 lines.
So we can receive this as a fail.
Yeah, as long as that's what he put down, then that's good to go. Yeah.
Okay. Next one, on your list, I've got mass complaint enforcement. Jane, you must have put that.
I did. I spoke with Lynn Dinez last week regarding Dickinson. She spoke to them on the phone, and they assured her they were doing everything correctly. And she was going to go out and check. And I asked her to check up on Dollar General and Granby, All Power, to see, to just kind of go in and see. They don't know her.
Yep.
So she agreed to do that. And then she was stating that we could fine these establishments if they weren't in compliance. So I just put it on the agenda to let you know. I'm just waiting to hear back from her how it went.
Because it sounded like the state said that at Dickinson, there were some technical violations. They didn't have right signage. They didn't have the plexiglass.
Lynn said that it's not required for the plexiglass. You don't need it. Businesses don't need to have it. But like you say, the signage. And so she spoke with him on the phone, but she wanted to stop in person and check it out. So she was supposed to go this past weekend.
Okay. The next one.
Dollar General that you made a comment about. Remember, the chief went by there, or one of his officers did, and everyone was in compliance. I had an issue with Cumbie at Five Corners and spoke with the manager about that, and chief also knows about that one. So these are just difficult issues to enforce continuously.
For what it's worth, I went into Cumbie's at 6 o'clock Sunday morning, and actually I was afraid of going in there, and everything was perfect. The people coming in all had masks. The 2 employees had masks. They were serving coffee properly. They were doing it right, at least on Sunday.
Well, my issue, as you remember, was someone who was actively resisting and refused to listen and walked away.
Well, maybe the manager, in fact, did something about it.
Well, I hope so, because I spoke to him on Tuesday specifically about it, and he said he would, and that it was against company policy.
Okay. The next one is
So,
tag.
um,
Go ahead.
just a quick question on that topic, with Herb and with all of us that have been to different places. Are we at the point of, forgive and forget, with these different businesses this far into this COVID-19 pandemic? Or is there a line in the sand where when Herb, a member of the board, obviously in good standing, walks into a business and, with all due respect, tells the employees they're breaking state law, and instead of being grateful, they resist a little bit? I don't know, and I'm not pro fine for everything that happens in the world, but I don't know what else we can do to stimulate the businesses and the employees of those businesses to do the right thing.
I think the police are ready to give fines. But if we go, let's ask the three of us. Herb, you were the last one to witness it.
Yes.
Are you at the? Are we? We're you as being the best guy to give what you think because you just experienced it. I'm not gonna give someone a fine. I can tell you that. But if we said as board members when we listened to Al Wishart, he said he was willing if we called him people up and said we witnessed it, we'd like to give a ticket. He said they would do that. Is that where we are?
Well, I spoke with the manager. The manager said he would handle it. The only issue I would take with Lee is I don't think we're anywhere near through with this pandemic, Lee. I think this is going to go on for months and months and months. So it's only going to get to be more of an issue as people get more irritated and irritable. So this isn't going to go away. It's going to get worse.
No, I completely agree. I think it's going to be a very hard winter coming up. The colleges and the different states that, do what they want to do are examples of some issues that are in the news on a daily basis. I'm just thinking of a way of us through a simplistic, archaic fashion of implementing fines to try to, or some other way, I don't care what it is, of protecting the people that shop at these places, but also their coworkers.
And I think you're making an excellent point. And if we really do pursue it, then I think we have to consider the type of glass that is in our front windows, whether it's impenetrable glass.
I would suggest Al's not on tonight, but
He was earlier.
Was he?
I'm here. I've been here the entire time.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. In my picture, you're a little dark. So
He's in the car.
Yeah, my son is driving.
Yeah.
Do we ask the police on this one to, when they see it, especially if it's one of the repeater places, that we say it's time to give a fine? More than likely, once you give one fine, we're not going to have to give another one, is what I'm guessing. We certainly we certainly could ask that to happen.
Al, let me ask you, please. I'm guessing part of the purpose for giving out tickets for speeding, running stop lines, whatever, is to instill into the person through the pains of a financial fine that they need to stop doing it. I don't know the studies that have been done to say that it's the best way to curtail somebody's activities of doing something wrong. But I would like, not to quote you, but I just need your input as to the fines that the state says that maybe could be or should be done. Is that what you think is the best way out in this particular endeavor?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't make a blanket statement like that. That would be the equivalent of me saying that all of our speeding enforcement has been, all the citations we've written over the last 40 years have been a complete failure because people continue to speed. Enforcement is great. I think there's a lot of ways to do it. I think what we're looking to do is gain compliance. I think that as of right now, someone mentioned repeat offenders. I'm not aware of any repeat offenders since the last action where the board sent out letters and we delivered them. I know Dr. Abelson had a bad situation with one individual. It sounds like it was taken care of. That situation if it was handled differently by the, I think that was at Cumbies. If it was Cumbies, I forget where it was, to be honest with you. Then maybe it would be. Or if an officer dealt with somebody in a similar situation, maybe we would write a warning or a money citation. But if what you're looking from me today, right now, is to say that, we're going to cite every single person for mask violations, that's not going to happen. And it's not going to be effective. So I would say that we should continue on the course that we're on and handle these situations, on their individual merits. And if something warrants a warning or a fine to be written to an individual or a business, then we're not, I'm not saying we won't do that. I'm just saying that I don't know that making a blanket statement that, for instance, we're X amount of months into this COVID-19 pandemic, we should be citing everybody that doesn't have a mask on in a particular situation. I don't think that's smart. I don't think it's efficient, and I don't think it's going to change anything.
I don't think anybody asked that though, Al. I certainly didn't.
No.
I just wondered.
That's not my question.
Well, what was asked? What is asked? What are you asking then? I guess my question.
Mine was, and then I don't know if someone else has got another. Mine was if we thought that issuing one to a flagrant violator would end up with the whole system saying, you know what, we better follow the rules because one guy got it. And not to anybody, it would be a flagrant violator. So that's what one. So mine was
right. So that
to a flagrant violator.
Well, to that, I would say this. To that flagrant violator, yep, it might get them, and they had to pay that fine, absolutely. Could there be some benefit of the people that were standing watching that person get cited? Yes. Again, I think that we're on the right track. I think, thus far we haven't had to write citations to gain compliance. I'm not saying that we shouldn't keep that, in our bag of tools should a flagrant situation occur. For instance, at a business that we've already dealt with and given letters to, or that wasn't responding the correct way. I think if you go back and look at the governor's recommendations and the CDC, or not the CDC, but DPH's recommendations, everything has been about gaining compliance through education. And so the only way that I can answer this for you guys is that I think we should continue what we're doing If we have flagrant violations, we are not opposed to, intervening with some sort of citation. But beyond that, I know you're not necessarily asking for a blanket statement, but I still think the best way to answer that question is, can we? Yes. Should we? In certain flagrant situations, yes. However, I think just judging by all the conversation that we've had, they're few and far between.
Yeah, so maybe the issue is if we can turn up the heat a little bit in terms of, I don't know how many times that our guys go in and inspect, Al. Maybe that's is to try to tweak that up a little bit, and maybe looking at the thing from our standpoint, maybe we're seeing the 1%ers, and we don't go in and make a point of saying, "Hey, that was perfect this last time I went in," and we're only looking at what's a little bit away from perfection.
Well, we've also other things too that the board probably isn't aware of, and maybe I should be making you aware of. We've had officers, get a complaint about somebody or see somebody that wasn't, wearing a mask, and they've approached them and they've dealt with it, or they've talked to a manager, and quite frankly, the response that hasn't been what Herb had. It's been, for the most part, we'll take care of it, or the manager's going to take care of it, or it just gets rectified. So, again, there's a position change and there's a uniform change. So maybe they're responding to us differently. But generally speaking, there's other situations outside of what we are, seeing situations that need to be addressed, and they're being addressed. And so far, people have been, pretty respectful. We haven't had the situation that Herb had, luckily. I would suggest if one of our officers was in that situation, they probably would have written that person a citation. So again, that's, I guess, the best way that I can answer it. We're not opposed to it. I just don't think that writing citations for the sake of writing citations, because we're so far into the COVID situation, makes sense. If there's a flagrant violator and if the person refuses to do it, then so be it. And if the circumstances are all right and there isn't some sort of medical condition that prevents them from wearing it, which is something that we have not talked about, which is an issue that needs to be dealt with. So again, these aren't, and this is going to continue. And I think Herb said it. We're nowhere near the end of this. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I think we're seeing, fatigue right now, people, being cooped up and having to wear masks and things like that. And it's going to happen. And I think that we just need to be smart and careful about how we handle it, and realize that everybody deals with these things differently. And the best thing we can do is promote compliance, in the least intrusive way possible, and ratchet it up if it need be in certain circumstances. That's the best way that I can answer it.
I mean, do we come up with, and I'm not trying to beat this thing to death, but is there like a mathematical formula here? Third strike, fourth strike. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just trying to, like I said earlier, minimize the spread of this virus through the general public as well as the coworkers in any environment in this town.
We talked about keeping track of these violations.
That I would answer that, Lee. If that was a question for me, was that a question for the police department, Lee, or me?
No, general.
But we talked about keeping track of this. Are we in fact doing this?
Yes, I am. Yes. I can bring it up.
You don't have to right now. Maybe we should. Maybe as part of this report that we do every meeting, Gene, maybe you can give a list of the places that we have, and then we'll find out whether it's where it's happening, how often it happens, and
Okay, I'll send out the list to everyone tomorrow, what I have so far.
If I could be so bold, I think there are mask violations going on everywhere all the time. Maybe not so many in retail business, but there are mask violations on your street with your neighbors. They're everywhere. The last thing that I would personally like to see in our town of Granby is a demonstration against mask wearing that's perpetrated by whomever. So I would say I want people to wear masks. I'm going to ask them to wear masks. But if we get draconian, I think we're going to rue the day that we did.
Mhm.
I think I could support the way Al's suggesting we do it, with the combination of measuring to see how bad the problem is, and we can come back and review this. But I'm a big proponent of going to the guy that we're going to ask to do something and listening to what he says. And when Al says, I don't know that's the right thing to, not only I don't know, I suggest that's not the right thing to do right now, but not to just back off and say we're not going to do anything. That, again, we're already finding out that our crews are doing some inspection that we don't know about, and as I said, that we've taken some more action at All Power, and that looks like after it's happened, something changed. And for sure, after Herb talked to Cumbies, it was Good Sunday. So maybe they're in the places that are not doing it right. If you go in and we go into if it's Dollar General and you go and find, maybe there is no store manager. Maybe you have to go to their offices and say, hey, this is what's happened 8 different times. You guys have to do something. But if we go with data, it's something that you can do something with.
Well, Dick, I would respectfully submit to you that I don't believe that. And I don't believe that because the leadership of our country is not supporting this. The leadership of our country does not wear a mask, does not socially distance, does not believe any of these things. So, and does not believe data. So I would respectfully disagree with you.
Okay, I certainly can't deny what you just said, because what you said is the truth.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to, Al, I want to thank you for your input, because, you know, this is what you do for a living, and I just need to get various perspectives on management of this whole thing, and I think your idea is probably the best one. I'm not a fan of hitting people over the head, although it's tempting at times, but I get completely where you're coming from.
Okay, then let's go on. Tag sales is the next one. Gene's been getting a bunch of requests on tag sales. She's told me about Northampton backing off, and they're having things saying, oh yeah, we're going to let tag sales, but you can't have more than 10 people on your lawn at a time, and they have to be so many feet apart. And my view, and I'm certainly willing to flex, but it seemed to me that tag sales are a very, very uncontrolled area where people are close together and they're not like the stores. But what are your thoughts, Lee and Herb?
Do you mean uncontrolled like a political rally?
No, but I can't, certainly running our town the way indoor political rallies are held on, so it doesn't seem like a direction we should be going.
I think if we set guidelines, Dick, we could have tag sales. If we said whatever arbitrary thing we said, there can't be more than whatever number of people. They have to be 6 to 10 feet apart, and everyone has to be wearing a mask. Why not have tag sales? We've got to live through this as well. And we have months and months and months yet to live through it. So I think we've got to pay attention to that. This is not going to be over anytime soon.
We certainly know that there are going in the opposite direction of what I just said. We certainly know that farmers markets are allowed, and they're probably not any less busy, or maybe more busy than tag sales.
Yeah, probably so.
So what is your thought, Lee? To just say that the outdoor certainly you can have 50 people there.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the honor system to control the crowds around at a potential tag sale. The mask wearing, the 6 foot of separation. Herb's point is well taken that we have a long way to go, and people are looking for some sense of normalcy, and maybe a tag sale gives them a little bit of that. I mean, I suppose if we tried it and it works out okay over the next couple of weekends, if it turns into a disaster, then we can always rescind our decision if in fact we do allow them.
What if we said that they have to comply with the masks and distancing, and they can only be outside?
Oh, only outside for sure.
Yeah,
Only
absolutely. Yeah, no exceptions to that.
And masks and distancing. Yeah, I think all of those are the standard issues. Let's not wear ourselves out. Let's not wear everyone in the town out. Let's not make them so dispirited that who knows what will come into people's minds.
So Gene, do we have Gene get in touch with Chris and say outdoor tag sales are okay, but they have to be masked and distancing? Is that what we want to do? I could support that.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll go with that.
Okay, Gene.
Okay, so what about an open garage if it should rain? So you're
think we
saying
should
no
do
to like
that.
a garage sale?
And then you say, well, what happens if only one side of the garage door is closed? And then,
Right. So just outdoor only.
Outdoors.
Okay, I just want to verify that. Okay.
next one was Council on Aging, CVS. That was the outdoor flu clinic. Did we have any? I didn't have any objection. It looked to me like Herb, you didn't have objection to that. Lee?
Nope.
Okay, Gene, we're set with that.
Okay.
Flu clinic Grant, I was at the school safety committee today. They may be in a spot that money, or at least part of that money, could help some uninsured kids get vaccinated.
Who's going to do the vaccinations, by the
But
way?
I think they're hooking up with CVS.
If we, I see. So you think it will be people from CVS, not a nurse that we have to provide?
Right, that's what their plan was supposed to be, that CVS apparently has a protocol for these clinics, and it looks like they must have a source of vaccine.
They would
Well,
be, sorry, this is Nancy Jenks. Can I just share some information?
Sure.
So their pharmacists would be the ones administering it and providing the vaccine. But we know that there's some families, especially with the current economic situation, that may have lost their insurance. So as part of their process in doing the flu clinics, they have to process insurance claims. So we're looking to provide an option for those families who may not have health insurance or in the process of getting it and are interested in having their student be vaccinated.
and that would be outside the CVS issue?
It would be at the school.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I don't know how we make that money available. The first release that the state made said that we had to do something to estimate how we were going to use the money, I believe, and then the second release said that we in fact could team up with in fact, I think the first one also asked that we try to deal with the schools, and then the second one, I think, said they were specifically allowing third party action to get some of this money. It's only, what was it, $978 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
So do we vote to allow the schools to come up with an estimate of how much they want, and then we can have Jean fill out the paperwork?
So is this only for students then? It's not for someone else in town who's lost their insurance, an adult? How would they get vaccinated?
Yeah, this is only for students, this particular clinic.
Right, but is this money directed only towards students, or is it more broadly directed, Nancy?
This would only be going to cover students. They would be the ones being vaccinated at the clinic.
Okay, all right.
So we would have to have another program, Herb.
Yeah.
So Nancy would have to come up with what she thinks she wants. And then we'd have to fill out the paperwork, and then I don't know what the mechanism is to get to the other people in town. Or do we send a mailer out or an announcement in the paper saying that we may be able to give out free vaccinations, and then deal with CVS or whoever's got the vaccine? I'm not sure what the mechanism is to make that happen.
Well, if you have Medicare, you can get a free vaccination at CVS. How many people in town? Do we have any estimate how many people in town have no insurance?
I do not.
You have any estimate, Nancy or Lee?
We have to see our registration numbers right now, and we won't be getting that information for a little bit. And that's normally how we're able to determine in the beginning of the school year who has insurance or not.
Yeah, there's usually usually when a family runs into a hard spot, there's various state and federal agencies who pick them up on a plan almost within the same day. There's very, very few people who, unless it's their choice, really cannot get any insurance whatsoever.
Well, that's my estimation. Yeah.
And I think that's why our whole vaccination program disappeared. You know, we used to get free vaccine, and that doesn't happen.
It's possible, and I don't know the mechanism behind it, but it's possible that if we contact Department of Public Health in Boston, this whole process may already be right in their backyard, and we don't know about it because the state, even as of now, gets and distributes vaccines no charge to various inner city clinics all over the place, and I don't know specifically names and addresses, but especially this year, I truly believe this program is up and running.
So I wonder if you look at the goals of this program, this grant, the goals aren't very high. They're only to increase the vaccination rate by 10%. So maybe Nancy is the only game that we have in town.
Yeah. Well, that's a good game.
So Nancy, why don't you see what you're going to need?
Okay, and I'll get back to you.
Terrific.
Okay.
That's a good thing, Nancy.
The next item that we have is Jean's request for vacation, September 24th to the 30th.
Is that going to be right during one of our potential next meeting times?
Yes, unfortunately, it would be, I'd be back on the 30th. So we could do the meeting on October 1st, which is the Thursday, or we can do it on the 6th, but that throws us off again.
Yeah.
So Thursday would be 2 days late, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, to me, that would be the next logical. I don't know what you guys think about that, but to me, that's the closest we're going to get, and then get right back on cycle.
I think so too. What do you think, Herb?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Colleen was going to be here
Now,
to cover the meeting.
I'm going to talk about Colleen next.
Okay.
I
That
don't
Thursday
think
is
so.
okay with me.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So yes on the vacation, and then the next meeting date is the
Okay.
Thursday.
Thursday, October 1.
Colleen is in a position that she would like the job. Herb and I talked about this before, maybe even before Jean showed up. Colleen is absolutely wants the job. She has a medical situation that she does not. She is trying to get the answer from the doctor. It looks like she may need non-life-threatening, non-serious surgery, but she doesn't want to do that while she's in the middle of switching jobs. She does not have the specifics as of today. She was hoping within a couple days she would. Herb and I talked this through, and we think that in fact we made the decision that we should take the job description and give it to to,
Christmas.
oh,
Sharon?
Sharon Hart. And she's got a link into, I think she told me the Western Mass Health Departments. And Herb and I said we should give the job description out, get it posted. Hopefully everything works out with Colleen. But if it doesn't, we should not be losing these weeks. Hopefully it's all straightened out before we've got any resumes or done any any reviews and any kind of interviews. And so Herb and I said we should do that, and I was going to do it tomorrow. And as soon as I hear from Colleen, we'll know.
Okay.
So Herb and I did also talk about school openings. It looks like I don't know if you had a chance to review the reports from the schools, Lee. It looks like East Meadow School, depending on if you listen to Davie Engineering or Collier's Engineering, Collier's think 4 air change an hour is what's needed to meet the standards. Davie is saying 5. East Meadow is set up with some rooms that are way over that, some that are a little under that. All it looks like with the ability to hit the 5 air changes. And the high school is got some issues that Davie is saying it's not suitable right now for more than one person in a classroom. And the cafeteria, they don't see a safe way of managing the cafeteria. So the school asked me if we would be in a position to say, get the East Meadow balance to get the 5 air changes an hour and continue with your program and do the other, continued work on trying to make the high school safe, but it's not safe right now. Is that where we stand?
Well, Dick, I'm sorry, but we already covered all this at the start of the meeting. So
and I'm just saying, I'm just informing that's what we're doing.
Well, I take issue with doing it again. I'm sorry. We've already done it.
Okay, I'm just saying we did it. So
Thank you.
Next one is I told the school that I would take a shot at coming out with a protocol for town colors versus having schools shut down. And I'll give it a shot. I was going to take a look at averages and something like you have to have the average color for a couple weeks to be red, and then you're done with in-house schooling, and then you have to get comfortably like a level of 6 for 2 weeks before you can come out of it. And I told them I'd take a shot at writing something down for us to review and give to them. They are also going to, they've got basically another population, the school population, that they would come up with their own protocol for what they would be shutting down on. So I'm just saying that, and we won't do anything until I give it to everybody for review. Neil, you're sitting there patiently waiting your turn. We reviewed both of your things and approved them.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, sorry. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Thanks.
So if that's okay for me to give a cut for everybody to review, then I'll do it. What I was gonna do, and I didn't do it, and I knew I wouldn't do it on vacation, is to take one of the models and kind of put some sickness into it and see if it blew apart any place. But I'll share that with people when I do it. So if that's the case, then Dean, do you have anything else for us?
I don't know. Did Bob Stover call in or Mike Rose?
I'm here.
Mike
Okay.
Ross here.
Okay, Bob, I didn't see you there. I just see telephone numbers. Bob,
Yes.
we reviewed yours. The only thing that I discussed and we approved it, the only thing that's going to happen is Paul is going to get back with a different well location to that he feels is safe, and he's going to try to get the perk location for the lot to the east of your lot and locate that well. The well complies with the law right now, but he's going to do it so he doesn't step on that other lot, and he's going to do that in the next couple of days and get it to us. And so that's
Right.
You're done. And the 101 East Street,
Yes.
that is we reviewed and we granted the permit subject to our fill regulations, which says that we have to inspect the strip, and also that you have to get an electrical permit for the pump.
Okay.
And we granted the variance for the 4-foot to 3-foot separation with Charlie Kanicki as our representative.
Excellent. Thank you.
We're done with you.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Dick, Bob Stover.
Yes, Bob.
So what is the permit approved?
It is approved. And
Okay. But
subject
Paul
to
needs to
send us in a new location for the well, but the permit is everything on it is legal and up to snuff, but he's going to move that well to protect the lot next to him.
Sounds good.
So we're set.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So Dean, what else do you have?
That's it. Well, the First Presbyterian and their Halloween event, that was okay.
That's
Their
fine.
proposal.
Yeah, it sounded to me like it's the same basic thing that the other two churches are doing, only it's for Halloween candy.
Yeah, they don't need to get a permit for that because it's prepackaged items. So I don't think they need to get a food permit through us because they're not cooking anything.
No.
Okay, so I'll just let them know.
So what else do we have? We're almost 5 of 8. Our time is almost up.
At some
I'm
point,
done.
At some point, we're going to have to address what's going on at the Bow and Gun Club.
Would you like me to get in touch with Chris Martin to find out what the mechanism is for us to hire a qualified engineer to?
Well, that's the only way I think we can address this. We cannot possibly address this on our own.
I certainly am not qualified.
Yeah. Well, I wrote my thoughts about this, and I am convinced we need expert consultants, and probably more than one.
Lee, what do you think?
No, I agree completely with her. This is beyond our scope. I don't know if we're going to be looking at some state representative help here or the state government to understand how to control these guys. They appear to be just doing what they want when they want, way up on the hill, and no one's around to leash them in.
Yeah. Well, regardless, my guess is, as Herb said, we're going to end up in court someplace, and we're going to, with someone with a lot more expertise than we have. And so,
And we have to do this in conjunction with Belchertown.
yeah.
So it has to be a combined effort, and it has to be at a high level in those towns. Our Chris Martin and whomever is the equivalent person there.
Yeah, that's the guy that I talked to. I think his name is Harry Brome, maybe. But I think maybe Lee is right that you say once you've got two towns involved, that we ask the state for some help on legal expertise, or actually it probably starts off at engineering expertise.
We need range advisors. We need ballistics experts.
Yeah. We
We need a lot of expertise here that we
Okay.
do not have.
So, and at this point,
He-
listening to complaints isn't the right thing. This is really some technical issues at this point.
Yes.
So I
Gene,
will,
have we,
go ahead, Lee.
pardon me, Gene, have we received any correspondence from the Belchertown board whatsoever on this topic?
We did receive a letter from Gary Brome
Okay.
that I did send out. I can resend it. And that was in response to Dick's conversation with him.
Right. Okay.
And he did request our assistance.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me start with Chris Martin and see. Unfortunately, this could be an expensive bill to get this thing done. So let's see what we can do, and we'll open the conversation, and then we'll be able to give these people some information about what our plan is.
And we need to review the noise ordinance, what's grandfathered and what isn't grandfathered,
Yeah,
because that's an important part of this as well.
yeah. Yeah, so I'll do that. I will do
Okay.
that this week.
Okay, I move adjournment.
Okay, we're 2
All
minutes early.
All right, good night.
That's